Good morning, everybody. Wherever you are across the country, from Delhi studios, I welcome you. And I am in this morning. I'm joined by the two top rankers of the country, and then I'm extra excited, as you can possibly see in my face. In fact, we are going to have a live interaction with you, with none other than Tina Dabi and Athar Amir. They are going to talk to you, address you live, and then take your queries and tell you about their own journey. And also I would like to add here that this satellite telecast that we are having is coming to you without the lapse of time. And in this particular time that we have between us, I am going to tell you about how this entire technology has started to beam you exactly the same material that we are giving here in Delhi to our students who are sitting with us face to face. I would not like to take much of your time, because I know that schedule for Athar is very busy, schedule for Tina is very, very busy. So I would rather like to invite Athar, and then like to ask him to address you. Please welcome Athar, and then he is going to be talking to you live firsthand. And I would also like to invite Tina, and then she is going to talk to you live, and then we'll have some discussion coming up here where they are going to share their own experience as to how the KSG can possibly help you in realizing your dreams. And this cannot get bigger than this. That's my promise. You can't have higher than rank 1 and rank 2. And I'm so proud to be sharing the frame with them. In fact, it's a lovely morning. It's a great start of the day for me. And over to Athar, and then he would like to first-hand address to you as to how the whole thing actually is moving.
Thank you so much, sir, and good morning to everyone, wherever you are. It's so exciting that we heard that around 34 cities across the country are watching this live. And it's really a wonderful platform, and I should congratulate KSG, ETEN, Pearson, all for doing this. It's something really, really remarkable that, that the classes, which are held here in Delhi, they are beamed exactly in the same way to you at your centers. And it's a lot more convenient to you, Sorry. Yes. So, I would certainly, like to talk a bit about the examination strategy, and how you can benefit from the kind of preparation and the coaching and studies that you do. First of all, I believe that most of you would be UPSC aspirants as such. So it's important in the first place to understand the examination, what is the curriculum of the examination well. So I would suggest that most of you, and in fact everybody of you, should go through the UPSC examination syllabus well. Try to look at each and every aspect of it. Look what is there in preliminary examination. What are the main areas that preliminary examination is going to test you. After that, for the main examination, the syllabus given is even more elaborate. You have for every paper, you have topics, your subtopics given. Try to make sense of it. Try to, make kind of some mind maps, in you. You should be ready, every time. If somebody asks you what's there in paper 1, what is there in GS paper 2, what is there in GS paper 3, you should be, easily, figure that out. By being very much familiar with the kind of syllabus this examination has, it will make your preparation very much focused. For example, we often keep on talking about newspapers. Newspapers are one of the best sources for studying your current affairs. Current affairs somehow forms your 50 to 60% of the preparation. Now, if you're reading newspapers, there's huge amount of information written on newspapers. So how to decide which information is important for you, which is not? What things you should read and what things you can ignore? Again, the syllabus that you read becomes very handy. Besides, for different subjects, for example, economics, etc., we read different books. Now, these books are pretty huge, so it's not possible actually to read them from cover to cover. You actually have to make a distinction that you read in first, you give priority to those topics which are in the syllabus. So again, being well versed with the syllabus is really, really important. Then when it comes to the preliminary examination, in addition to what you read, I think few things are very important. One of them is practicing questions as much as you can. You should go through the previous year's papers. You should go through the question banks which your coaching supplies you or which you can get from the market. You should try to solve as many questions as you can. It will improve your accuracy. It will help you, revise things better. It will help you retain things better. Okay, so many times what you can do is when you're solving some questions, you don't know the answer to a particular question, you can then go back to the book and start reading that topic entirely again. Similarly, you should revise things properly, make proper timetable, proper schedule, proper study plans, and revisions are really important. As human beings, we do forget things, we're not able to retain things beyond a particular point of time, but if we revise things, then this is the best bet. And when it comes to main examination, again, 2-3 things are very important. One thing, main examination is all about answer writing, how well you write there. They won't be concerned about how good you speak, how good you know. They're more concerned about how good you write there. And for writing good, you actually need to practice that much. So you should start from day one. You should start writing mains answers, maybe 2-3 answers a day. You should join a test series. KSG has launched a KSG test program, which is a wonderfully designed one. Most of the toppers have put in their efforts. All the questions have been designed by toppers. All the model answers have been designed by toppers. You should even join that. So this test series will give you the sense, how to manage time in the examination conditions, how to, how to figure out, what you have to write there. At the end of the day, you have to write, say, answer of about 200, 250 words, and that too within 7 or 9 minutes. That's a very small span of time. The thinking time is less. So how to, speeden up your responses, your stimuli, and so this answer writing practice really helps. Then in main examination, essay is another important area, another important aspect. So you should spend some time, writing essays maybe every week or every fortnight. You should try to write one essay, show it to the teacher or a friend or a peer, and it will also help. Then one more thing, as I also emphasized, that current affairs forms the heart and soul of this examination. Somehow, most of us, we don't, we underestimate the importance of current affairs. And I strongly warn you against that. Newspapers are really important. There's no alternative to newspapers. You should read at least one newspaper every day, be it Hindu or Indian Express. Then make proper notes from those newspapers. Jot things down in your file on a notebook, and also then revise them periodically. That's for the current affairs. Then you can use some booklets or the magazines that you get at the end of the month, but those would be only in the capacity of a supplement. They can only supplement to what you are reading from newspapers. They cannot be an alternative to newspapers. So that is this part. And besides, when you are reading, try to develop your perspectives. So you are reading about social issues, you are reading about poverty. It's not only from, say, exam point of view. Try to think about it from different dimensions. Try to think about it, what can be the possible solutions to these issues, to these problems. Okay, so develop those perspectives. They come very handy in both your main examination as well as your interview. In main examination, you don't have time to think. So whatever is there in your subconscious mind, whatever there is ready in your mind, you easily write that. But if you have to think, it will take a lot of time. You will miss out on many questions. Similarly, when it comes to interview, they do ask questions in depth. They question you again. They question you on what you answer. So then these perspectives, these opinions that you develop, they come handy. So I think that would be fine enough from me this side. So I would hand over the microphone to Tina.
Thank you, Athar. Hi everyone, good morning. This is Tina Dabi, All India Rank 1. It's a pleasure to be here. बहुत अच्छा लग रहा है that I am able to reach across 35 cities. Pearson, in association with KSG, is doing this wonderful job where you can be anywhere in India and still access the best faculty, the best classes at the same time when they happen in Delhi. So that's wonderful news. I think civil services examination is a very difficult journey and a long journey. बहुत ही लंबा सफर है और बहुत मुश्किल भी. But अगर आप बहुत ही sincere हैं, बहुत ही disciplined हैं, if you're ready to make a lot of sacrifices, if you're ready to do hard work, then absolutely nothing is impossible. So always keep yourself very motivated. I understand A lot of times you will face a lot of challenges. बहुत difficult लगेगा, ऐसा लगेगा कि शायद ना हो पाए. You'll feel that probably you're not capable enough to sit for this exam, but please do not get demotivated. Always keep yourself very boosted and very positive. Now civils has 3 parts. It has prelims, then mains and interview. और तीनों ही examinations बहुत different हैं and बहुत different strategies demand करती हैं. A lot of people ask me, what is the first step towards preparation for this examination? And I tell everyone, पहला काम जो सबने करना है, that is going through the UPSC syllabus. And अगर actually UPSC में कुछ memorize करना है, तो वो UPSC syllabus को memorize करना है. The UPSC syllabus should be memorized by heart in a way that you must know what are the topics. A lot of times when we read the newspaper reading पे बहुत बात की जाती है, reading the newspaper is so difficult. अच्छा, newspaper में पढ़ना है तो कैसे पढ़ना है, क्या पढ़ना है? So if you are very much in tune with what's the syllabus of UPSC, your mind will automatically filter, oh, this is important for me or this is not important for me. So the first step, my friends, is to be very, very thorough with the UPSC syllabus. Now, UPSC syllabus for prelims and UPSC syllabus for mains. The syllabus in mains is actually an extension of what there is in prelims. So we actually have sort of, an elaborate syllabus in mains which actually guides us कि actually किस point पे preparation करनी है. Prelims, it takes around 9 to 10 months to establish that foundation. So कभी भी चिंता मत करिएगा कि prelims को पढ़ने में इतना time क्यों लग रहा है. Prelims आपकी foundation बनाएगा for mains. And now, since we have Pearson in association with KSG, you can access all the best faculty and classes right from Delhi. For prelims, a lot of times, fear रहता है कि negative marking है. This can only get resolved if you do enough test practice. So taking mock tests is absolutely crucial. When we come to mains, mains is an entirely different thing. In 3 hours, you're supposed to write around 20 to 25 answers of 200 words each, and that's, I agree, a very, very big task. This leads to the question how to tackle mains. I think for mains, a lot of answer practice is required. Nearly every week, you have to solve a mains mock test paper. KSG has come out with KSG Test Prep, which is an excellent test series, very meticulously planned. Toppers from across India have contributed not only answers, but also the questions. So this is an excellent opportunity. For mains, a lot of times we get confused or over the questions which are asked. I think one tip which can be followed by all is कि आप questions बहुत ही ध्यान से पढ़ें और उत्तर उसी का दें जो actually आपसे पूछा जाए. Since it is a competitive exam and it is a fight of 1 mark, तो कोशिश हमेशा यही करनी चाहिए कि आप पूरा पेपर कंप्लीट करें. एंड पेपर कंप्लीट कैसे करेंगे 3 घंटे में, वो तभी आएगा जब आप सफिशिएंट प्रैक्टिस करेंगे. सो टाइम मैनेजमेंट इज इक्वली इंपॉर्टेंट अलॉन्ग विद द आर्ट ऑफ आंसर राइटिंग फॉर मेंस, एंड that has to be kept in mind always. When we come to the interview part, I think interview is an entirely different experience. Interview is not only a test of your knowledge as well as your personality. तो जो आप ये 2 साल यूपीएससी की प्रिपरेशन करेंगे, try to cultivate yourself as a person as well, because you not only have to demonstrate how well you are with what's happening around you, but how good a person you are, how positive a person you are, how compassionate a person you are. So also pay attention to developing yourself as a leader, as a person who understands all sections of society, who is very compassionate and very sensitive to what's happening around him or her. इंटरव्यू के लिए आपको ज़्यादा न्यूज़पेपर रीडिंग करनी पड़ेगी. वी हैव टू रीड एटलीस्ट 3 newspapers, 2 national dailies, as well as 1 paper which deals entirely with economics. Also, you have to be very in touch with your optional subject you take. You will be asked questions with it in the interview, as well as you have to focus on your graduation as well. So I think UPSC demands different strategies for the 3 different exams you have to go through, but with a lot of hard work, dedication, sincerity, a lot can be achieved. So I wish you all the very best. Do well.
All right, now we would be actually Thank you, Tina. Thank you, Athar. Now we would be actually having some questions which will be basically you having in your mind from across the country. We would love to take those questions, and I think if they speak from there, it will be all right with you people there. So you can have the questions short to us, because the important part of this entire scheme of things that we have got, it is live. That means you can actually ask questions in the real sense of the term, and you have got your answers coming straight on the real time basis. So I would like you to type your questions so that we can have those. In the meanwhile, I would like to have a question asked to Tina. How do you feel after being topper, and how different it is when I used to see you in the class as a student? You can.
I think it feels incredible. It feels great to have secured rank 1. But at the same time, I know a lot of hard work has gone into it, right from my own hard work to the hard work of my parents to the hard work of teachers at KSG. So I think it's a long time in coming. But sir, it feels very great. But at the same time, I feel I'm more myself than I ever was.
Excellent. And Athar has been a big philosopher around. That's what I have been able to discover through his speeches, etc. And he speaks so well. So I was just wondering if I can ask a philosophical question to him.
Oh my God.
So I think before the questions start coming, I think I would like to say how you really become so deep in your thoughts in such an early age of your life. I mean, that's something which really impresses me. I must ask this to you.
But
I think it's going live, and then you have to be.
No, I really don't know how to.
You are very deep.
But I think I have always cultivated this habit of thinking about stuff. So if I read something or if I see something, I actually try to think a bit about it, say what's it actually, what can be done. So I believe that everybody should do this, because when we are, as human beings, as future civil servants, as aspirants, it's not only important for us to clear the examination, but also bring in those changes in ourselves, in our mindsets, which can be more important, not only for us as an individual, but also as a member of the society, member of a very important prestigious service.
I think country has seen another deeper self of Athar, which he doesn't look on the surface. I was just, now we got the questions coming. How to keep motivated? Vikas from Varanasi would be interested in knowing. I mean, I think Tina should answer this question.
Well, Vikas, I understand your problem, that a lot of times, nearly every second or third day, we feel very demotivated, and we don't feel good at all. We have very negative thoughts coming in our head. We even doubt ourselves whether we can clear this exam, whether we can even study for this exam. I think you really need to understand that this negative mindset which keeps coming from time to time, it's a very normal thing which happens to everybody who sits for this exam. It's a very natural thing. So don't get scared by it. And whenever this humse na ho paega attitude comes over, always talk to whoever you feel is the most near and dear to you, your parents, your siblings. And they'll remind you all the sacrifices you've made, and all the qualities, good qualities you have, and why you really deserve to not only sit for this exam but also clear it.
There's one interesting question coming to somebody who has defeated time, and please tell something about the timetable. I think I should ask Athar about this. This is coming from Agra. I mean, he's always defeated time, I think. So
if time is set by Air India standards, then I always defeat it. Time management is really, really important. We say that you have to be disciplined, and what do we mean by discipline here? It means following a particular good timetable. Timetabling things is very, very important. You have an entire huge syllabus there, and the time you have is actually small. Now you have to plan your things so that in this short span of time you cover each and everything which is there in your syllabus. So timetable is very important. So you should make study plans. You can make weekly plans. You can make monthly plans. But the plan should be such that they are achievable, they are realistic. It shouldn't be the case that you want to finish one book in 2 days, you want to complete your entire optional subject within a week. That doesn't happen. Always be realistic. I always say this, whenever you have to set plans, set targets, set them liberally. And when you have to execute them brutally. It shouldn't be the otherwise, that you're setting targets brutally and then you're very liberal in executing them. So have targets, have a proper timetable. You can follow every day. You're getting up early in the morning. Then schedule your thing. What are you going to do in the next 8 hours or the next 10 hours? Similarly, have some plan for a week, for a month. Have some time for revisions. Have some time for where you can appear in tests. So try to make it as comprehensive, but at the same time as realistic as possible.
This question comes from Jamshedpur. I'm an engineer. Can I prepare for this examination? I should ask the engineer also about this.
Every year we produce around 12 lakh engineers in the country, and a huge number of them do appear in this examination, and the success rate is also good. So I don't think that, per se, it's not required that you have to be an engineer to appear in this examination. If you think that you can work hard, you have that commitment, you have that zeal and that passion in you, why not? Irrespective of from whichever background you are, you can appear in this examination.
I think there's a question coming from Muradabad asking that the general studies appears that it has got everything under the sky being asked. So how can we really make it simpler? I think Tina has made it simpler, or I think she would have the answer for this.
I think when the syllabus is so vast, you first really need to be very thorough with what exactly is the syllabus, and then probably even use the main syllabus to know what points can be asked under the broad topics. Secondly, to keep track of how much you've covered and how much needs to be done, or your weak points or strong points, you really need to have a good timetable for yourself. You need to have a good schedule where you plan out things that, okay, for this week I'll cover this much, for the next week I'll cover that much, so that you keep track of your own progress.
There's a beautiful message coming from Trivandrum. Good morning, sir, brother and sister. And how was your experience with the interview? I think you can continue with this, please.
Interview has bittersweet memories. Bitter because it's a very nervous time, a very anxious time. There are 5 people who are about to evaluate you from all angles, from all aspects, and it carries a lot of marks. It's a very anxious sort of time. You feel very pressurized. But sweet memories because the board at the same time is very supportive, very kind. They even give you hints and advices if they think that you need them. And my interview went beautifully. I had an interview for over 40 to 45 minutes, and nearly I was asked about everything: my graduation, my optional subject. They gave me some situational problems, administrative problems. So overall, a wholesome evaluation.
There is a question coming from Dibrugarh. And then the issue that is coming up here is that give some idea about optional subject. I mean, she took the optional she had in her graduation, but then he is the one who really jumped the fences. So I suppose he is the right person to give idea about how to really...
I think, when you have to choose your optional, be absolutely open. Don't keep any preconceived notion that, you want to take this one only. If you're good in what your background is, what you have studied for your 3 years, 4 years, which you actually should be, then it's better to take that subject. But, at the same time, if you are not comfortable with the subject that you have studied in your graduation or post-graduation, still there are a lot of other options that you can switch up to. So in the first place, always, try to decide upon, then you can narrow down it to say 3-4 optionals that you want to take. Then try to find out which one you find more interesting, or which one you find more easier, in which you are more comfortable. So for that, you should at least read some 1-2 chapters from these 2-3 optionals to which you have narrowed down. And also you can go through some previous year's papers, some syllabus, exam syllabus, trying to get sense of the things. And I tell you, once you spend some time with these different optional subjects, you get to know in which your real interest lies. But that interest is the key. The option that you choose, it has to be your area of interest. Because you hear, in case of optional subject, unlike GS, here you think you have to read things in depth. You might have to read a lot of books. Now you'll read them only if you're very much interested in those. So first criteria should always be that you should take that optional in which you find very interesting. Then you can look for whether the study material is available, whether you can find the right kind of guidance for that subject. Those can be secondary. But in the primary criteria always has to be your own interest.
There are 2 questions coming here. One coming from Dibrugarh and another coming from Patna. About Dibrugarh is about reading newspaper Hindu, and Patna, how to hone the skill of answer writing. I think I'd like to give it to Tina to answer these 2 questions.
From Dibrugarh, the student asks that the Hindu paper takes 2 hours to read thoroughly. How can we reduce the time? Well, I think when 60% of the paper is from current affairs, it really does not make sense to reduce the time for reading the newspaper. I think newspaper reading is one thing which is absolutely paramount, absolutely crucial. And the more time you give, the more better it is. Since 60% of the prelims questions will be current affairs based, 60% in mains, and interview is entirely current affairs based. So absolutely. But yes, newspaper reading, if you've memorized the UPSC syllabus, you'll automatically know what is relevant for you, what is not relevant for you, and that can save some of the time. From Patna, the question comes, how to hone answer writing skill? I think this can only be achieved if you do enough of answer writing practice. And of course, there's the standard format which we follow for every answers. We begin with an introduction of 2-3 lines. Then we go to the main body of the answer, which is around 2 paragraphs. And then finally come to the conclusion, which is again 2-3 lines. This has to be followed for every answer. So that gives like a good presentation. Also, keep practicing as much as you can. Like write one answer every day and solve one mock mains question paper every week, and I guess that should be sufficient.
There's one question from Amit from Varanasi. He's trying to ask you that how to prepare for optional political science. In brief, you can talk about that.
Okay. Political science is a very, very dynamic subject because it deals with the Indian polity as well as international relations, and they keep changing every day. So if one thing which is very, very essential for this optional, it's having a very good command over current affairs. So apart from, doing the theoretical part, over the 2 to 3 years, the trends of UPSC they're more interested in judging you on whether you're aware of what's happening around. So be very in touch with the newspaper for both paper 1 of Pol Science optional as well as international relations, which is paper 2.
There's one question coming that Athar would take. Which books to be referred? That's one question coming here.
Which books to refer? One is you would be getting study material from KSG. I think they are very good and meticulously prepared, and you should go through these books as well. Besides them, we have other books, for example, NCERT books we read for history, geography, polity, etc. Some basic stuff from there, and then some other books, for example, for polity we read Lakshmi Kant, and say for economy you can read Mishra Puri or some other book. These are some standard books you should read, but I think KSG study material is pretty good, and you should follow it. Besides, newspaper is also an important and essential part of your study material. Okay, do follow it rigorously as well.
There's one question coming from Muradabad. That's how many questions shall we attempt? I think you should attempt more than others. That's something which is important. There's no fixed figure that we can ever lay on that. Essay ka mainly format kya hai? Essay ka you would like to talk about?
Okay. As you know that in essay paper there are 2 questions. So we have to write 2 essays, and so each essay carries around 125 marks. So the word limit is around 1,200 words. So so it would be a question like, write an essay on any one of the following. The first challenge that we have is which one to choose, on which topic to write. You should always write on that topic which you understand the most. It might be the case that there might be some other topic, about which you have a lot of information, but you might not be understanding some word or some point, something in the topic. There's a strong possibility that you will end up writing something else. So always write on that topic which you understand the most, number 1. Number 2, whenever you have a topic, don't miss the essence of the topic. For example, if the topic is, social media is important pillar of democracy, don't keep writing half right up on social media and half on democracy. Here the key is social media is important pillar of democracy. So you have to argue it across your essay. How is social media important pillar of democracy? If it's an important pillar, how does it strengthen democracy? Somebody would say that no, it is not. It's actually it's not a pillar of democracy. You might argue it actually weakens democracy. But the key here is you have to focus on this thing, how it is the pillar or how it is not the pillar. Number 1. Number 3 is that before starting your essay, you can make a small outline of what are the things that you want to touch. That outline will establish a boundary around you so that you don't deviate too much. Okay. So, and besides, also understand that essay is a very formal style of writing. You don't have to write in points, or you don't have to draw diagrams. Write in a very formal, lucid but coherently argued one.
There's one question coming from Ramandeep Kaur, and then Tina would like to answer that. Yes.
Ramandeep Kaur from Jalandhar asks, apart from coaching, how much time must be utilized for self-study daily, and what to prepare first, prelims or mains? That's a very important question. I think after coaching, of course, coaching is important, but self-study is more important. It's more important that when you go back home, you memorize and revise what has been taught to you in class. So self-study is very important, and I believe if you're doing coaching in the morning or wherever, I think 4 hours after coaching, 4 hours of self-study is absolutely necessary when you go back home. This next part of our question was, what should I focus on, prelims or mains? I think prelims and mains move in a continuum. They are not disassociated with each other. Prelims will set your foundations for mains. So, and the syllabus is nearly identical. So you will be constantly preparing for both of them simultaneously.
Lavkush asking from Bilaspur that here's the question that initial levels of practice from Jabalpur, Bilaspur. I think the question can be scrolled up a little bit, so can get the question again. Can you just scroll it up, please? Bilaspur question. All right. How to prepare for GS4 paper? I think I would. GS paper 4. You want to talk?
She's more of an expert.
She is expert, so you have it from expert only. GS paper 4.
Well, GS paper 4 ethics, I think it's the most dreaded paper as of now because nobody really knows about it. And 50% of the paper will be focusing on very theoretical things. They would be asking you about some philosophers or would seek your opinion on one matter or the other. A lot of governance and public administration from the ethical angle as well will be asked. But this is very easy to do because it's theoretical, and with excellent coaching material at KSG as well as the other books we refer, I think this part can be easily tackled. What really is the dynamic portion of the paper is the case studies, and nearly 50% of the paper deals with that. When it comes to case studies, we often take it very lightly, thinking that, it's just a situation, so it's fine, I'll read it on the spot and I'll make my answer. But no, they're actually very tricky, and they require that you sort of set your mind on how to solve these tricky case studies. So my advice to everyone is that whenever you don't feel like studying, you can take up a case study, think about it, and form some standard solutions. Okay, if so and so problem happens, what is the standard solution to it? So that goes a long way and saves a lot of time when you prepare for mains. So this can solving case studies can go hand in hand while you're also preparing for prelims.
Yeah, the question comes, what magazine should we follow sincerely to complete all GS-related current affairs? I mean, I think if you are reading newspapers, I think you'd like to substantiate that.
Yeah, newspaper is the basic source for your current affairs. There's no alternative to it. You're reading newspapers every day. You're making notes from the newspapers. Then you can supplement, add up them with some monthly magazine. Even KSG would be supplying a lot of material to it that can come supplemented. Or you may look at, say, Yojana is another magazine. It's a government mouthpiece, but it gives good information, especially important for your paper 3 and paper 2. So you can go through Yojana as well. But don't take all the magazines that are on this stand. Just choose 1 or 2 that you find good. Yojana can be one of them. Maybe the other option can be KSG material, or maybe some other magazine that you find good, and go with that. But maintain that consistency. You have to follow that every month. It shouldn't be the case that 1 month you're getting 10, 20 magazines and not reading even one of them.
Okay. This question I think like you take from Lucknow. How to choose engineering subject for mains?
I did not choose that. So,
so I wanted to give it to
so
you.
in engineering, I tell you there are plus as well as negative points. The plus point is it's mathematical marking. If you have done a question right, you will get good marks. You will get marks to it. That is not the case with humanities. There's a lot of uncertainty. Even if you have written a good answer, you might not get that good marks. Because you never know what would be the exact demand of the examiner. But at the same time, in engineering and medical science, the syllabus is very vast. You have to revise all the things, all the books from your first year onwards. So that becomes a very tedious task. So if you're very good in engineering, you have done study well while you are in an engineering college, or even if you are prepared for GATE or Indian Engineering Service, then things become very easy. It might not be that difficult for you to choose an engineering optional. But if you have not taken enough pains during your engineering, as most of us do, then it becomes a very difficult task.
There's a question coming. Does medium affect you in getting selected? I'd like you to answer this thing.
There's a lot of myths associated. ये काफी बार कहा जाता है कि क्या इंग्लिश मीडियम वाले स्टूडेंट्स को ही ज्यादा मार्क्स मिलते हैं, हिंदी मीडियम से हैं, या नॉन इंग्लिश बैकग्राउंड स्टूडेंट्स. ये सारी चीजें जो हैं, these are all rumors. I think a student should take that language in which he or she can express himself or herself the best. So अगर आपको लगता है कि आप हिंदी में अपने आप को सबसे बेहतरीन तरीके से एक्सप्रेस कर सकते हैं तो वो हिंदी लीजिए for not only writing the paper, even for interview. And we have a lot of students this time who've got selected from Hindi medium. So yeah, absolutely, this is a myth that there's a difference in marking for English medium students or Hindi medium students.
I would like to add a thing here. अगर आपने हिंदी माध्यम का भी चयन किया है तो आपको थोड़ी बहुत अपने आप को खोल कर रखना होगा इंग्लिश के लिए, क्योंकि मैंने ऐसे बहुत सारे बच्चे देखे हैं, बड़ा दुर्भाग्य है कि उनका आंसर ही इवेलुएट नहीं हो पाता क्योंकि उन्होंने इंग्लिश पर ध्यान ही नहीं दिया और एक क्वालिफाइंग पेपर होता है और उसमें रुक जाते हैं. तो ऐसे इंग्लिश से आपका कोई तिरस्करण नहीं होना चाहिए. यू शुड नॉट बी एब्सोल्युटली अगेंस्ट इंग्लिश, क्योंकि आपकी सामग्री कई बार नेट पे मिलती है, सिर्फ इंग्लिश में मिलती है, तो उसको भी पढ़ें आप लेकिन जिसमें एक्सप्रेस करने में ज्यादा अच्छे सक्षम है आपको वही माध्यम लेना चाहिए. और ये बहुत जरूरी है. और ये मिथ है कि इंग्लिश लेने वाले ही अब ज्यादा इंग्लिश वाले लेते हैं इसलिए ज्यादा इंग्लिश वाले पास करते हैं, जबकि मुझे ये पता है इस बारे में कि इस बार रेशियो ऑफ स्टूडेंट जो पास हुए हैं हिंदी में जिन्होंने लिखा था और जितने पास हुए हैं इंग्लिश की तुलना में हिंदी का ज्यादा अच्छा है. तो अगर किसी पास की हुए हिंदी के बच्चे से पूछेंगे तो हमेशा बोलेंगे ऐसी कोई कठिनाई नहीं. हाँ, लेकिन मेरा अपना अनुभव कहता है कि उन्होंने कुछ इंग्लिश की किताबें पढ़ी थी, कुछ इंग्लिश के न्यूज़पेपर पढ़े थे, कुछ इंग्लिश की वेबसाइटों पर देखा था, तो ये दोनों का कॉम्बिनेशन मेरे ख्याल में काफी अच्छा रहता है. Confused regarding optional in MCQ, which can take risk, and I am not. There's no MCQ related. We have got optional anymore. It's not there. Chandigarh say waiting for your reply. Can you type a question again so that we can get back to you? We have level of English for answering. लेवल ऑफ बहुत ज्यादा ऊपर नहीं चाहिए, एक क्लास 10 का लेवल चाहिए. अगर इंग्लिश से बन रहे होते तो लंदन के सारे टैक्सी ड्राइवर आईएएस बन चुके होते. बहुत अच्छी इंग्लिश बोलते हैं वो लोग, तो ऐसा नहीं होता है. आप इंग्लिश के लिए ज्यादा चिंता मत करें. हाउ टू स्टार्ट प्रिपेयरिंग, डिब्रूगढ़ अगेन आस्किंग द सेम क्वेश्चन. सो आई लाइक टीना टू टेक दैट. शुरू कहाँ से करें?
आई थिंक शुरुआत होनी चाहिए फ्रॉम यू शुड बिगिन first by looking at the syllabus and being very thorough with it, then probably identifying your strong points. So I'm good in this subject, or good or not good in that subject. When you evaluate your strong points and weak points, you can start improving the weaker subjects, but at the same time not ignore your stronger subjects, because you can't convert your strengths into your weaknesses. And I think newspaper reading has to be done regularly, very religiously, for 2 hours every day, since current affairs is absolutely crucial.
I think we have tried to take as many questions as we could possibly take collectively here. I think on your behalf, from wherever you are sitting, I would like to thank Tina and Athar for taking their time out for the busy schedule and the very busy people. The whole country wants a small slice of their time, and then of course this pie has got very small slices now only left. So I think on your behalf I'm thanking, and I'm handing over this mic to Mr. Manav. He'll get you some more idea about how we are actually proposing and moving ahead in this entire journey. And I, on their behalf, and then wish you good luck. And I think if they would like to...
yeah, thank you so much, and our best wishes are with you, and we're sure that you all will work hard, very hard, and make all of us proud and this country proud of you. Thank you so much.
Tina, you want to have signing?
It was a pleasure interacting with all of you. All the very best. Do well.
Over to Mr. Manav.
Everyone, all the centers pan India connected, Lucknow, Bilaspur, Bhilai, Dilsukh Nagar, Chennai, Lucknow, Nagpur, Rohtak, OP Jindal, Dibrugarh University. I first of all thank Dr. Khan for their time interacting with students pan India, and a special thank to Tina Dabi, All India Rank 1, Athar Aamir, All India Rank 2, coming on ETEN IAS KSG platform, interacting with students across India, sharing their strengths, sharing their strategy, helping the students pan India to crack the most important exam, UPSC Civil Services. Okay, hi, my name is Manav Agrawal. I'll be talking about our program, our module, our syllabus, how we'll be preparing you. First of all, I would like to inform you that all classes will be telecasted from Delhi. All classes will be live. So whatever class it is happening in KSG Delhi, it will be same telecasted across the country, and the way you have asked questions right now, the faculty will be responding questions accordingly. We have separate batches for Hindi medium, we have separate batches for English medium, and we have a special weekend batch for working professionals. Okay, so in case you are working, I found some students are working, they ask questions, we are working, how can we prepare? Don't worry, we have a separate batch for weekend, for working professionals, which runs only on Saturday, Sunday. The best part of our program is that the same course content, the same material and the same faculty which is available in Khan Study Group Delhi is provided across the country. In case you are unable to come to Delhi because of any reasons, you get the same faculty, same support, same material, same test, same curriculum at your home city. Just imagine All India Rank 1, All India Rank 2, talking about the Khan Study Group material, faculty, the core curriculum. You will be getting the same support, and trust me, I will not be surprised if next year at the end of the season you are at here, you are a rank holder and you are talking about your experiences. The best part of Pearson is because of its technology, because of its core competency, we bring the best faculty across the country. And honestly speaking, we have so many students already studying with us across the country for Hindi medium batches and English medium batches separately. Just to update you, will be providing you 30 booklets that are given in Delhi. The same booklets get couriered to your place, you will get the same material. We also conduct daily tests. So there will be two types of tests. One will be the daily test, which is MCQs based. One, there will be the subjective test, which is basically for the main examination. And also we will be covering essay, we will also be covering the interview part. So I like to summarize, the core curriculum is same as Delhi. You are getting the best services in your home city. I wish you all the best. If you have any further doubts, we have a center team who will be able to respond to you. Any problem, our center team will guide you. Thank you very much. All the very best.